From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night of evenings, LALATE, with incredible great news breaking today about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. As the author of the monthly stimulus check bill gets a letter off to Chuck and Nancy, signed by 100 Democrats saying, let's call the vote. Wow, incredible great news. In this recording tonight, we'll go over that letter. We'll go over why they're calling the vote and why there's no waiting for the tow truck to pass over the finish line. We'll go over the monthly stimulus check, how much you're going to get in on the fourth stimulus package, and why this breaking news tonight is so significant. But there's more breaking news in the second half of this recording. Fifth stimulus heats up with breaking news out of the Federal Reserve. I told you the Federal Reserve's minutes from its April meeting would be released today, and they will show you what's going on with the inflationary rate that your benefits will be tied to. Incredible great news across the board. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the thousands of dollars that land in your bank account. Are you ready to get it? I have all the details for you in this recording. It's a big night across the land as Evenings LA heats up. Let's get to it, starting right now. Good evening, everybody. I'm really excited for you on a big night of Evenings LA as the fourth stimulus check gets the push from over 100 plus Democrats calling for a vote on the two-bill, two-step, two-month process. And they don't want to wait the full 2 months. How are you? This is Evenings LA. In this recording, we're going over the fourth stimulus check, how much you're going to get. Then the second half of the recording, we'll go over the fifth stimulus. That'll raise your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits. And in the middle of the recording, we're going over the big money that's available for you starting right now and some that's automatically going to land. It's a great night. A lot of breaking news. I'm excited you're here. And this, if you're new, is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel, breaking all YouTube records with 400,000 subscribers now in 1 year and a few days. Thank you. Next stop, 1 million subscribers. Let's do it. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. Like it right now. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member and get access to documents like the letter, which you're going to hear about in this recording. Wow, what a day. Let's get right to fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is that monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July that has two proposals, a House proposal and a Senate proposal. Now, over the last few weeks, while I've been detailing the House proposal, you may have seen this graphic. Look carefully at the name at the top of the graphic. Tlaib and Jalapal. Why is Jalapal incredibly important? You're going to see that name again in just about 3 minutes, but don't forget it. So if you're watching live when the show airs at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, get ready to vote. House or Senate, but not yet. Let's go over Jalapal's initial proposal with Tlaib. That was the pandemic plus 1 year stimulus checks. So let's say there's 5 more months. That would mean 17 months of stimulus checks. Senate proposal till December from July. And while the Senate may have less checks, they may be a lot more money. The House proposal is $1,000 per month after the first month of $2,000. The Senate proposal's month is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That's an individual. Now, why did the House proposal get twists and turns starting last Thursday? Because it's pandemic plus 1 year, and now there's indication that the pandemic may be over by the time the vote happens in July. The CDC on Thursday last week lifted the mask mandate for vaccinated people indoors. So did the president on Friday. So did this week. Home Depot, Ultra Beauty, Kohl's, and a lot of businesses across the country lifted the mask mandate in their stores, if not required locally. New York became lifted today. California gets lifted on June 15th, which suggests that the pandemic for legislative purposes may be done by the time of the vote. That means then that the House proposal would provide stimulus checks not pandemic plus 1 year, but 1 year. And that could potentially mean $13,000 over 12 months compared to the Senate proposal, $12,000 possibly over 6 months. There you go. Really surprising big news, but let's go over how much money you're going to get in the forced stimulus. So when and where and how do you get it? Let's go over the details. Who gets a forced stimulus check? You do. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or railroad benefits, you get the forced stimulus check. If you're a single individual who makes less than $75,000, you get the forced stimulus check. Nearly a couple $150,000 or less, you get it times 2. And if you're a household 4 or less, you get it. And if you're flying a plane overhead, you might get it as well. There you go. When do you get it? Remember, I'm a reporter. I'm just reporting the news. I'm not representing it. I'm not legislating nor voting on the bill. But the representatives represent that the vote again today would be by July 4th. That means that the vote would send the stimulus check out the door in the month of July for the month of July, a monthly stimulus check. There would be no waves of stimulus checks where different people get it on a different day and a different week of the month. They don't have time to do that because it's monthly. In the month for July, and in the month of August for the month of August. It's not taxable, so it's because it's not income. And there would be the same amount of stimulus check for adult dependents, minor dependents, and everyone else. We don't know anything about child support on the forced stimulus check. And there you go. A 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process. But why is that process fasting, speeding up, and heading to the finish line like a lightning electric F-150 pickup? I'll have the details coming up in just a second. But in the second half of this recording, there's a lot of breaking details. And I want to give you a preview of what's coming up in the second half of this recording. The Federal Reserve's minutes from its April meeting were released today, and we're getting an insight as to what its thinking is on inflation. This is huge because the fifth stimulus package revises SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits by lifting them up one time and applying a benchmark. And that benchmark is inflation. And what's that inflationary rate going to be? Stay with me for the second half of the recording with those breaking details out of the Federal Reserve. But now let's go to the big money, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25,000 that you can get right now and should get right now. And it's starting this very moment. But first, get a pen and paper ready because this is a 30-minute video. And over this video, I have a lot of money to get you. I don't want you to miss anything. And I want you to stay to the very end because there's a lot of money in this video. And take notes because here we go. $5,000 for rent is available approximately for you now because $350 has been sent from the federal government to the cities, the counties, and the states under the third stimulus package. When the third stimulus package was passed earlier this year, I told you, yeah, you'll get a $1,400 stimulus check, but the biggest payout you'll get is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And guess what? It's now landing this week and next week. So go get it. And where do you get it? 6 places. They are City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, State Hall, State Housing Authority. The word you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID. You don't use complicated words like stimulus. They don't understand that word. And reach out to them. And it's about $5,000 of money for rent. There's also money for utilities and homeowner's mortgage and homeowner's utility. Go get it. Incredible, great news. Now let's turn to SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for food. And you get it by reaching out to Department of Agriculture, which administers SNAP. You can also get to Department of Agriculture by calling 201. How much money can you get for SNAP? About $14,000 to $16,000. Yes, it's a lot of money. Why so much money? Because of 2 executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, which raised it up 15%. So a family of 4 in Hawaii gets upwards of $14,000 to $16,000 per year now. Incredible. And guess what? We're about 9 minutes into this video. I've already got you $5,000 for rent and about $15,000 for SNAP if you're in Hawaii. But here comes a reality check moment. Not one, but 2 of them, actually. The first one is, I want you to get this money for the rent, utilities, and mortgage. Why? Because it's not being offered ever again by this government. It's over. We saw it in first, second, and now third stimulus. It ain't coming back in the fourth stimulus. We've gotten that confirmation. Moreover, it's what I call a Purple Hawk moment. Hawk, hawk. It's what I created the word Purple Hawk for. That it's first come, first serve. You want to pounce and get that money before anyone else. It's going to run out. And there's going to be a stimulus stampede, which another expression I coined, which refers to people rushing to get the stimulus. First come, first serve. Which brings me to another reality check moment. And that reality check moment is that it is also going to expire. So the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are going away. They're not coming back in the fourth stimulus. Democrats don't want it back. Why? Their concept was they want you to get rent under third stimulus. So you're caught up and that the landlords can have their eviction moratorium lifted. Gone. There you go. So, wow, let's turn to the other incredible great news. And it starts with thousands of dollars landing from your state, and one viewer is getting $5,000. And I really appreciate all the nice comments from viewers. Some getting rent, some getting SNAP. If you get anything like that, send me a DM. I'd love to read them. So one viewer is ready for that $5,000. Where is it coming from? What is it? Let's go over the details. States are repaying back to money back to you that you paid back to them. What's an issue? The federal government has stepped in and ordered states to return money to you that they had taken back from you when they had overpaid you due to computer malfeasance. Here's the example. A state had you on unemployment benefits, and then during the run, you got an extra payment of a couple $1,000s. Then the state reached out to you and said, oh, we accidentally sent you extra money due to computer malfeasance. Return the money back to us. It was no fault of your own, but return it back. And you did. Well, the federal government said it was not proper for the state to ask the money back. You should have been able to keep it. And you have been, and now the state has been ordered by the federal government to return it to you. Incredible, great news. Automatically coming to the account you have on file with your state. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to know when you're going to get it, reach out to your state. Which brings me to the thousands of dollars that are landing in people's mailboxes this week and this month from IRS and Treasury. That's the tax refund for taxes they paid on their unemployment benefits. So let me go over how much you're going to get, how you're going to get it, and when you're going to get it. First, how much you're going to get. You're going to get back the part of the tax bill you paid to IRS for the taxes on your unemployment on the 2020 return. So, for example, let's say your 2020 return had $9,000 of unemployment, of which the total tax bill was $5,000 to IRS. And of that $5,000 bill, $4,000 was taxes on the unemployment benefits. You are getting $4,000 back to you. Next, how? In the mailbox. So you're going to look for a beige or white envelope that has in there a check from IRS or Treasury. Subject line, tax refund. And when? 3 phases. Phase 1 are individuals who have nothing else on the tax return that involves a refund, a refund, or rebate, or a dependent. And you're getting those checks this week. Phase 2 are single individuals who have dependents on the tax return and have complicated returns. Your checks are coming this week and next week. And then phase 3 are married couple at the end of this month. Yes, everyone's getting paid this month. Incredible, great news. So now let's turn to the big, exciting news that formed today. And it's absolutely jaw-dropping. Jalapal, who you saw in the graphic before, was one of 2 authors of the House monthly stimulus check bill. When Jalapal wrote that bill, calling for the monthly stimulus checks, 100 plus House Democrats and over countless Senate Democrats wrote the president a letter saying they're going to put monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package, whether the president wants it or not, they're putting it in there. Well, guess what Jalapal did today? Yesterday. In a letter revealed today, Jalapal yesterday wrote Chuck and Nancy, Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi, demanding that the reconciliation process call for a vote ASAP, saying that they had already started the process, they had already been writing the bills, but that we should not wait, speaking to the fellow Democrats, for the Republicans, saying it's time to call the vote now. Wow, this is incredible great news. 1, because it's written by Jalapal, who called for the multiple stimulus checks in a bill. 2nd, it's signed by 100 plus Democratic House members who also signed the letter calling for multiple stimulus checks and supported the bill written by Jalapal for the multiple stimulus checks. And finally, why is this big news? Because it signals that we could see this finished sooner than later. Now, we got reassurances again today from Speaker Pelosi that the vote would be no later than July 4th. Good. But what did we also get today? Well, we also got this type statements from these House members. A series of House members said that A series of House members said that when considering the situation, they are not going to wait any longer for Republicans and are asking the president to call the vote, asking for Senate and House members to call the vote immediately. When asked whether they should sit around and wait for Republicans any longer, Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat out of New York, said, no, absolutely not. We shouldn't wait any longer because we might lose our coalition for human infrastructure. And then Gillibrand added, I do not think the White House should relegate recovery to the judgment of Mitch McConnell because he will not function in good faith. So I think it's a terrible political misstep. Then Representative Ruben Gallego said, call the vote. They're not being even players, referring to the Republicans, and we should just move along without them. Move along, get it done, get the vote done. Then Representative Mark Pocan said, at what point do the Republicans, seriously come to the table? If Republicans don't come to the table, it doesn't mean Democrats don't serve the meal. Wow, great expression. And then finally came Senator Majority Leader Whip Dick Durbin, who says, while we can continue to have negotiations with Republicans, we need to finish the negotiation, finish the reconciliation. And then finally, Ro Khanna, Democrat of California, said, I think we should move forward on our bill. Incredible, great news. So what are they basically saying and why is this important? It's important to understand that they're saying the following. They have been working on the reconciliation, as I've been detailing for you. They had a whole press conferences detailing what page of the reconciliation bill they're on or how many pages have been written. They have been writing it. They want to finish it. But more importantly, they want the vote called immediately. They don't want to wait around much longer. On the other side, the president has now indicated in this news article as well that he will continue to have meetings with the Republicans who haven't moved $1 on their offers in 3 months. And those meetings, however, will end by Memorial Day. So the Democrats in the House and Senate are saying, call the vote. Don't wait any longer. While the president's saying, well, I will continue to meet, but only up till Memorial Day. Incredible, great news as the fourth stimulus check is heading to the finish line. And now the authors of the multiple stimulus check bill is getting co-signers, no less than 100 of them, to write a letter saying, call the vote, stop waiting for the Republicans. In the second half of this recording, I'm going to go over the big breaking news that's happening out of the Federal Reserve today that is very important for fifth stimulus, because fifth stimulus is tied to inflation and it has a step-up basis to it. I'll explain that and more. But first, if you need money for rent, utilities, and internet, reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? They're in the description to this video. Open the description, find the emoji of a house, and there is a link to the community page, news.la.com/community. It's a webpage with a picture of some cats at the top. Reach out to the volunteers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They can help you find rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and utilities. And guess what? I'll be looking for you when you come back in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page before I give you the big updates about fifth stimulus after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE, direct from Los Angeles, with incredible big news about your fourth stimulus check and fifth stimulus package. The fifth stimulus package heated up today with big news out of the Federal Reserve. I have that coming up in a second. But thank you for joining me. This is LALATE, the 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, financial news channel. The only one of its kind, from Wall Street to Main Street. I got it all covered. Coming up next after this recording is Crypto Night. We are going over big developing details of the crushing fall of crypto in the last 24 hours and how to still make money on cryptocurrency. So join me coming up. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member and subscribe if you've not. 4,000 subscribers, next stop, 1 million. Fifth stimulus got a fascinating push today, and that push came from the Fed minutes. What are the Fed minutes? First, let me explain what fifth stimulus is, and then we'll go over the breaking news. Fifth stimulus is the latest stimulus package that heats up this September, and that fifth stimulus involves revising SSI and SSDI. First, let's go over broadly what's at issue. They'll lift your benefits. They'll remove the asset limits. They'll add an inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. All right, now let me go over how that works and the breaking news. That's incredible, great news tonight. So fifth stimulus is a two-step, two-bill process that starts in September, just like fourth stimulus. And it says stimulus checks, it's SSI reform. But it's not just SSI. It's for you. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, survivor benefits, and more. They're going to lift your benefits up one big time is what they represent. Then they're going to add an inflationary benchmark. An inflationary benchmark means that in December, you'll get a letter that says, hi, we looked at inflation, it went up X percent, you're going to get your benefits up X percent next year. Now, why is this very important? Well, because the inflationary rate is going to be nice this year for purposes of your benefits. It's not going to be 0% inflation. But is it going to be 20% inflation? On Friday, Jeremy Siegel, professor of economics at the Wharton School of Business, said that inflation would be 20%. That is huge. But many may wonder, is he actually correct? Yesterday, the head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia said that his growth indicator shows growth going from 4% right now to 10.5% later this year. That's a big change. That's a lot of growth. And the Federal Reserve today released their minutes from their April meeting. Now, it's important to understand is that the meeting was before the new growth numbers were out. PPP and CPI last week, which signaled that we could have massive inflation later this year. So before those numbers were released, what did the Fed minutes reveal today from back in April? That they see that inflation is still somewhere in the 2 to 2.5% range. Interesting. Which seems to suggest when you compound all this information together, that inflation may likely be 5% in December. Let's say it is. This is what will happen to your benefits. They'll raise your benefits up one time and then add an inflationary benchmark that could potentially be 5%. If that's true, you'd step up 5%. Lifetime. Incredible, great news. Absolutely incredible. If next year it's 0%, you don't step down. In fact, you never step down. You would just stay the same. Wow. Now, what else is in fifth stimulus? They would remove the asset limit. So that's dating back to a 1980s law that says you can have more than $3,000 on hand and also get benefits. Great when you're getting stimulus checks to get rid of that. Then they're going to remove the income cap that says you can't work and also stay on benefits. It's a 1960s law. They're going to get rid of that as well. And finally, the marriage penalty, they're going to remove that as well. Dating back to a very old law that says you can't stay on benefits and also get married. So if you got married and lost benefits, they're going to restore them. And if you want to get married, you can. You will not lose your benefits. Love will win and the marriage penalty will lose. Incredible, great news. So let's go back to what's going on with this letter and what's going on with these 100-plus Democrats and what will happen with the president over the next few days. What's important to understand is that the president's messaging in the last 24 hours has been his same messaging since last week. Get it done. He's referring to his Democratic leaders, but now those Democratic leaders are talking to Nancy and Chuck, who certainly want to do it by reconciliation. There's no surprise about that. Remember, Chuck Schumer is the one who won that reconciliation deal with the parliamentarians several months ago, and now has half a dozen reconciliations in his back pocket to win. So he certainly wants to do a reconciliation. But what they're saying now is get it done now. Stop waiting. Do the vote. Now, when I mean do it or get it done, I don't mean they haven't started it. They have started it. They have it in the subcommittee. They've been writing the bills. They're almost finished, but they want the vote to start. They don't want to wait any longer on the situation, which is incredible great news. But all along the lines, you may still see the president having meetings at which the Republicans say, no more money. We're still the same number. He says, thank you so much. I'll see you again tomorrow. And he'll continue to have those meetings potentially up to Memorial Day. But that has nothing to do with these people. These people are your legislators. They're the ones, 100 plus, that supported Jalopal when Jalopal wrote the bill, providing monthly stimulus checks, wrote the president saying that they're going to put the monthly stimulus checks in. Finally, what's important to understand is that other items of stimulus are disappearing. So in the fourth stimulus package, stimulus checks are needed because you have gotten back to work, but you're not caught up on your bills. But unemployment stimulus going away. It won't come back under fourth stimulus. So PUA, PEUC, and FPUC not coming back under fourth stimulus. Rental stimulus not coming back. So rent, mortgage assistance, eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance not coming back under fourth stimulus. The thought process is the following, that they need to get rid of those things and get back to normal. But as the economy reopens, as people get back to work, as people are working, as businesses reopen, as the mask mandates lifted, people are still behind on their bills. And that's what, incredibly, with great news, both Republicans and Democrats, governors and legislators understand. The purpose of a stimulus check is to get people caught up on past due debts that formed during the pandemic. It has nothing to do with whether they are working or not working. It has nothing to do whether they're staying at home or not taking a job. It is bills that are piling up that need to get caught up on, and the only way you do it is with a fast, quick infusion of cash, which makes sense for the Senate plan. If you're watching in the live chat this afternoon, vote Senate or House. Which one do you like? For these reasons, the Senate plan makes the most sense because it is the fastest cash infusion that gets you caught up in your bills, despite whether you are working or not working, despite whether you're a senior or not a senior. The issue at hand is people are behind on their bills and still may be working, but can't get caught up. It has nothing to do with rent. It has nothing to do with unemployment. And those are different instruments that are going away. But fourth stimulus is heading to the finish line. And guess what's also heading to the finish line? You are. So make sure you subscribe. I want you part of this family. This is LALATE. Also like this video, 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Tonight you're going to get a copy for the first time ever of the Jalopal letter. Of course, it does not mention stimulus checks. It doesn't even mention the substance of the fourth stimulus package. It calls for the vote. And it's signed by all these countless House representatives. You've had the Jalopal bill for months as a member already. If you're not a member, consider subscribing. Coming up in 2 hours from now is Late Night Crypto. That is a big show tonight. Crypto fell. It is part of the U.S. economy, just like the housing starts, just like the bond market, which have all been very volatile in the last 24 hours. It's an important show to watch because there's money to be made even in a down market. Even as a market crashes, you can still make money. And ironically, as the market crashed in the last 24 hours, one of my major picks was up again. So that's how we do it. Join me tonight on Evenings Crypto. And then we go into our 9-hour show overnight. It's a live feed with a lot of people jumping in the live chat, interacting, having fun across the board, and learning information. That's how we do it. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, don't miss a beat, don't miss a moment, and don't miss me, because I'll miss you. I'm going to catch you next on Late Night Crypto. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.